Hi everyone, today we are going to discuss about the cytokines. The classification of cytokines. Cytokines is of various types, which is interleukin, interferon, tumor necrosis factor, chemokines, colony stimulating factor and transforming growth factor. These are the different cytokines which is coming from the macrophages and monocytes and other forms of an inflammatory cells to kill or to give a chemical message to other macrophages to react to the infection. So the functions of cytokine are stimulation, inhibition, differentiation and the chemotaxis effect. The cytokines are increased level of pro-inflammatory cytokines, and once this has been increased, that leads to a more inflammatory response in our body. So once the pro-inflammatory cytokines has been produced in our body, it gives a negative outcome after cardiac surgery. Effect of the cytokines. So the tumor necrosis factor and interleukin factor can depress the myocardial contractile function, so the myocardium cannot be able to cope up after the cardiac surgery. With the help of this mediator called as sphingosine. It is a sphingolipid, helps in the signaling transmission and cell recognition. Once it has been released from the cardiac myocyte due to this tumor necrosis factor, it affects the negative inotropic effect on the heart, which decreases the heart rate and the cardiac output. Tissue necrosis factor causes vascular permeability, pulmonary vascular barrier and lung water accumulation and kidney dysfunctions. All this can occur when the cytokine has been activated in the body. Endotoxemia is a change in the permeability of intestinal flora, which allows the passage of lipopolysaccharides derived from the intestinal bacteria into the bloodstream. It is also known as an activator of CBP-related acute phase of reactions. So the bacterial lipopolysaccharide is released by the gram-negative bacteria particularly. So once it has been released, it enhances the macrophages, where it can able to produce interleukin 6. Once this level has been increased, it can be highly seen in the pediatric cases and congenital heart defect cases. It gives a negative prognosis significance in the cardiac surgery. So in this image you can see where the heart and intestine has been involved in endotoxin. Where the intestinal gets a permeability, it gives us an lipopolysaccharide, so it indirectly affects the heart by increasing its inflammation, apoptosis and increasing the contractile dysfunction. All this has been occurred from the mast cells, endothelial cells and the macrophages, which release n number of cytokines, can also affect this form of heart disease. Nitric oxide is a pro-inflammatory cytokine and an endotoxin that can release from the extracellular matrix, where it can produce as a vasodilation, increased vascular permeability, lung water accumulation and myocardial standing even. Ischemia. Ischemia is a phase, it is occurred in the cardiopulmonary bypass after aortic cross-clamping, where it can induce myocardial hypoxia and ischemia. Both would have increases the pro-inflammatory stimuli. Once this stimuli has been increased, it can cause an inflammatory cytotoxicity effect. To manage all those things, we are administering a proper administration of cardioplegia in an exact dose, and we are preserving the myocardium to get this inflammatory reactions to aside off. Nuclear factor kappa B is an inducible transcription factor which is involved in regulation of transcription of many pro-inflammatory genes. It produces many other pro-inflammatory genes. It is activated by the stimuli such as interleukin and tumor necrosis factor and the lipid polysaccharide and UV radiation, growth factors, oxygen-free radicals, oxidative stress and whatever. All this can able to cause as a nuclear factor kappa B. Thus, nuclear factor kappa B is an ability to enter into our DNA, where it can able to replicate this form of production of proteins, and it can induce high amount of adhesion molecules. Once this adhesion molecules has been high in amount, it can able to adhere with the leukocytes in an endothelial surface that causes extravasation of the neutrophils. So acute phase injury of tissue injury can occur with the help of adhesions, which we have discussed already, which is E-selectin, P-selectin and L-selectin. All this can able to get attached with the leukocytes. So the leukocytes have a capacity to attach with the endothelium with all these elements, and once it has been attached, it can able to get the gap to escape from the blood vessels. CPP is associated with increased level of soluble adhesion molecules, and higher level of adhesion molecules are briefly expressed and returned to a normal within a few hours, but it is believed to be responsible for dysfunction of a multi-organ in a post-operative period. So the cytokines can be regulated with these mechanisms like intracellular adhesion molecule, vascular cell adhesion molecule and platelet endothelial cell adhesion molecule. All this can together affects the endothelial surface to create a gap and permeability so that the blood cells can be entered into the tissue injury site. Hope you have understand this topic. Thank you.